Morning, everybody. So I want to have a little quick video rant just to give you my 2 cents worth about, I guess, my loyalty or my disloyalty to certain product lines nowadays. Unfortunately, in the world we live in, everything now is made to be basically disposable. Nothing really lasts very long, you know. And when it comes to the outdoor products, you know, I try to remain loyal when I can. There are things that I like, things that I've used for years and years. But some of these companies now, they've really changed. And I'll give you a couple of examples. For years, I've worn Rocky boots, Rocky brand hunting boots. I don't know what year was the first year I bought a pair of their boots. I bought Cornstalkers way back when, and they were great. I've had other boots that were great of theirs, all different styles, all hunting related, not work boots or anything. But I bought these boots, I don't know, a year and a half, or I might have had them 2 seasons. But anyway, these are the rubber, just the slip-on snake boot. Okay, you see the tread's practically brand new, but I got to tell you, these are the worst Rocky boots I've ever owned. In fact, these are the worst hunting boots I've ever owned. Not because they aren't comfortable. They're comfortable. Let's see if I got, see what the name is on these things. Just says Rocky waterproof. It doesn't really say the, I bet it's in here somewhere. But these sort of have that neoprene looking liner inside or whatever, and they're not very uncomfortable. They're what you expect out of this style of a boot, you know. But they're not like a muck boot or anything like that. And when I bought them, I was really excited because I've always worn zip-up style snake boots, which I've had Rockies in those as well. But anyway, I got these thinking these would be really good. You know, I could just change different types of socks and just slip them on and go. But both of these boots, within less than 2.5 years, I would say probably been worn no more than, I'm gonna overestimate. I'm gonna say maybe 40 times, maybe 50 times, 40 to 50 times, and probably only made it with one of them about 20 times before it started leaking. You see where the seams, the way the seams work on them, I don't know what holds them together, if it's a laminate or what, but they started coming apart, and the old water would start seeping in to your sock feet. And I don't remember which one did it first, but one of them did it probably during the first season I had them. And you know, and then the other one did it maybe a year later. But they just, it's like everything now is made to be disposable, you know. Before these boots started leaking, I actually sent an email or a message or whatever to Rocky Boots, because before they started leaking on the inside down here where your foot is, you know, on the inside, the cushion that was in there, the little sole pad, the bottom of it, it began to wear, it began to disintegrate. I don't know what it was made of, but it was like little pieces of foamy material. I was trying to see if there's any that I could still pull out of there. I don't want to tear it apart, but basically it's kind of like people put those liners in for their arch support. The original liner that was in this boot it was trash. And so that was a pretty big disappointment for me. So I don't think that I would pay Rocky money for another pair of boots. It's just how disappointed I was in that pair. And I might change my mind. I'm not the most loyal person. I might change my mind at some point, but I don't know. I'm the type of guy that when I get a bad taste in my mouth about something, I just kind of look elsewhere. That brings me to my next product. Whenever Thermacell came out, the old Thermacell, yeah baby, when this thing came out, I thought this was the greatest invention ever known to man. And I swore by these things. In fact, I bought a couple of them so I wouldn't lose them. And that had to be, I don't know what year that was. But Thermacell, like all the other companies, they've cheapened up everything. And I have owned, we tried to count up the other day, I probably have owned 7 or 8 or 9 of these. I have owned 1 or 2 of the lantern style ones that you put out on your patio. I've got one of the new ones that you twist. I say new, it's probably 2 years old now, that you twist the bottom to do that. It's a patio style one. But so anyway, I've owned over a dozen Thermacell products. I've bought mats, I've bought bottles for years. I've bow hunted, gun, I've done everything you can do in the South. I've done with these things. Hiked, hunted, foraged, fished, you name it. I've used these things crazy, like crazy. But matter of fact, I've got the old style holsters. I've got the old holsters like this. I've had some of the holsters that have the clip on them. I didn't like those because those clips, I've known people to lose the whole thing, just come off of their belt. But I like these old holsters where you just clip these in. But my beef with Thermacell is this. I have returned 2 units, and I've got another one that has the same problem. And this is one of the newer ones that they had sent me when I returned 2 bad ones. The issue is, no matter which one of these models you buy, now this one has the twist to turn it on right here, okay? Some of them have the little lever where you flip it right there to turn the gas on, okay? But the problem with both of them is, or all of them is, at some point, they get to where they will not light. The igniter will not work. I've done every trick there is. I've done them all, to the point where I sent 2 of them back and they actually replaced them. But I don't think I would do that again, because like I said, this was one of the ones that they sent me new as a replacement, and it took even less time for it to stop working. So that's pretty irritating. See, I've got some older ones somewhere. It's weird. I've got like a couple of old ones that still work, but I've got a couple of the newer ones that have never worked properly, really. So I don't know. I just got to a point where I was just kind of frustrated with dealing with them, and I just said, I'm actually, for the first time in years, trying to look at maybe some kind of Thermacell alternative. I think there may be some competition out there now. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to look at it, because I think everything in our society now is just cheaply made. It's just junk. And I get it. They're gonna say, the materials cost is too high and the labor's too high and all that stuff is too high. But at some point, we're gonna have to find some companies that prefer quality over volume of sales, and stop building this disposable throwaway trash. So all I can say is, shame on Rocky Boots and shame on Thermacell for going from one of you know, going from being two of the best outdoor products companies ever to now making garbage. Now, that's just my opinion. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you've never had an issue with the stuff, and I hope that's the case. But I'm just giving you my 2 cents worth.